business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
From Studio A in Texas, USA, it's the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Show. In this segment of our show, we talk with Michael Gillam from Ram Trucks about the just-announced production of the Ram TRX, or as they're calling it, the T-Rex. Bad to the bone, yeah. This week, inside our new car showroom sits the Jeep Gladiator. We'll give you an in-depth review of that. We talk with NHRA top fuel driver and U.S. Nationals winner Fast Jack Beckman about his new car show.
Funny car.
Plus, we'll have This Week in Automotive History and the stories making auto news headlines. It's all just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, September 12th, 2020. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars and King Konrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us today. We are going to get Michael Gillam here. And Michael, good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us. He is with Ram Trucks, and we are going to talk to him about the TRX, the T-Rex as it is called. Michael, it's great to see you again, and thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. So now that it's out of the box, we want to know every nut and bolt thing about this. Can you help us?
Yeah, I can help you on the exterior, I think. Yeah, there was a lot of development, a lot of love went into this vehicle, guys. I mean, you know, I talked to you guys 4 years ago when the show truck came out, and you know, that was really an opportunity for us in the design office to kind of stretch our legs and put a stake in the ground for what the vehicle should be. And I'm pleased to say that it maintained all of that essence and more, you know. So we, you know, we really pushed on the concept truck, as you know, to make sure that it was functional and make sure that it was you know, a credible contender, something that you could see, you know, making its way into the production sphere. So, you know, from the long travel suspension to the big horsepower, even the ram air intake on the hood, all of that stuff is, you know, it made it into the truck. And actually, some of the things got even better. Like, there's a couple little details on the truck that you guys will see. On, you know, from the show truck, it was obviously based on the last gen Ram 1500. So, you know, we had the truck's obviously over 80 inches wide, so we have to have cab lights, or we had roof mounted cab lights at the time. One of the cool things that we were able to do on the production truck was actually a more creative integration of those lamps into the hood scoop, for instance, really giving it a unique kind of down the road read when you see it, you know, coming up on you from 100 yards away. And
while it's doing 100 miles an hour coming up behind you.
Exactly. So you're not going to mistake it for a heavy duty, you know, and you're going to hear it probably long before you see it anyway. So Michael,
I have to butt in here, and I have to tell you that, you know, when Ford came out with the Raptor, shortly thereafter, all of us press guys, when we would see you at the Texas Truck Rodeo, were saying, come on, man, we need some horsepower. There's no reason why you guys can't go after the Ford bunch with a real heavy-duty, super off-road performance truck. And you said, yeah. Well, we've been thinking about it. Well, guess what? I know the darn good and well that you guys have been working on this thing for years, although you won't admit it. And that's okay, because it's finally here. And I have to tell you that we're really excited about it, because this is a true off-roader with gobs and gobs of horsepower and the ability to not only meet the Raptor, but pass it by at a gajillion horsepower, you know?
Yeah, you said credible contender. I think you're going to be the dominant player because you're way beyond credible contender.
We like to stay humble because you know, it is a competitive landscape. So, but you know, it really was something where you know, we've got all these kind of tools in the toolbox already, from the 6.2 liter supercharged.
We know.
Yes, to, you know, 5-link coil link rear suspension, stuff that's very, you know, it's already kind of appropriate for this type of truck, and we've got experience with it. So why not kind of put all the ingredients together and see what happens? You know, you get a little bit of dynamite going, and I think, you know, our job as the exterior designer is to sort of telegraph all of that, right? So you've got to telegraph the capability of the truck visually. So you'll notice it was very easy on this truck because the form's following function, right? So wider track, the track is 6 inches wider. The overall width is 8 inches wider than a standard 1500. And, you know, that's something that you just can't, I mean, you can't fake that with design. That's a proportional kind of a foundational thing. And so you'll be able to tell that this truck is something special from a long ways away, right? So, you know, and then you'll also be able, like I said, you'll also be able to hear it. It's got an awesome exhaust note. So, you know, our job from an exterior design standpoint was to just make sure that we were doing it justice. Normally we have to, normally in design, we're always trying to kind of like, you know, maybe amp up the design a little more and overpromise, but we didn't have any problems on this truck. I mean, we were just making sure we could keep up with something cool.
You've way over-delivered on the truck because it's a gorgeous truck, and I've heard some of the videos when you talk about the exhaust note. There's now some videos out there where we can listen to the truck, and it sounds like a bit of a beast. The other thing about the truck, what kind of production, I don't know if you have numbers on that, what kind of production numbers you guys thinking of? Is it going to be Is it going to be limited or delivered to order?
I think we'll build one for anyone that wants one.
Wow.
I think that's really the, you know, that there's it rolls off the shop assembly line just the same as any other 1500. So or any other DT 1500, I should say.
Yeah. So you've got the capability to produce these. When is it the first one coming off the assembly line for sale?
I believe early October. I would just say, yeah, early fourth quarter.
So you're already through the pilot drive process of the truck. It is production. It's going to production right now.
Oh yeah, there's guys driving them around. Yeah, I mean there's I've seen a couple on the road actually. So they are rolling around, ready to rock and roll.
In the design of the truck, did you have to make any special accommodations under the hood for the motor?
Oh, yeah, we had to make all kinds of accommodations. The interesting thing, I mean, proportionally, what happened with this truck, you know, the wheelbase had to grow an extra 20 millimeters. And one of the things that was driving that, the major thing that was driving that was to get a 35-inch tire to have 13 inches of suspension travel up front, and then, you know, have all of the clearances and everything you need to the body work. There was no other way to do it except move the spindle forward. So in moving the spindle forward, the axle and actually even the entire engine block shifted forward the same amount. So, you know, and that's more on the engineering side, but it drove a lot of design decisions, you know, what we were able to do, what we weren't able to do. So you'll look at features like one of the telltales, like the front bumper is a lot of Rebel DNA in there, but we actually had to trim the back edge of that bumper about 2 inches, and it's got a whole new sideburn coming down with a clearance lamp in it and all of that to accommodate that tire. So it, you know, and these are all things that we learned and we kind of sussed out on the show truck. So what was great about the show truck is that there were not that many snakes in the wood pile when we went into production, which, as you guys may or may not know, you know, you get a big enough snake in the wood pile and it can really send a program sideways. Right. But you know, everything was you know, sort of accounted for, all the big moves.
So is the functional hood scoop on it trying to deal with cooling that monster motor underneath the hood?
No, it's actually trying to deal with feeding it. So there's actually it's a 50-50 stacked intake. So one of them comes up underneath under the header on the grill, and then the other 50% goes through that hood scoop. So they both kind of meet, and they go down into these chimneys that then go into this. It's a cyclonic kind of action to clear out any debris, and then it goes up through the air filters, the air filtration system. So there's a lot of extra work that went into the intake of this truck, just because it is an off-road specific truck, right? It's not just ramming it straight through an air filter.
Michael, I want you to hang on just a second here. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in just a minute, because we want to continue this fascinating conversation with Michael Gillam on the new Ram TRX. Stay with us.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time program. We're talking with Michael Gillam with Ram Trucks, and it's really good to have you here. You know, we were just talking about the fact that I don't know what you're sitting in, but we do notice that you've got a nice big heavy jacket on while we're down here bathing in 85-degree weather. Where are you, and how cold is it?
It's not that cold. Well, it was a little cold this morning. I actually had to do a little bomb run to Chicago to pick up some parts. I have a project Jeep that I'm working on. So
can you say bomb when you're heading to Chicago? I mean, you know, there's that aspect of it.
You can, I guess, after you get back.
After you get back to Michigan.
After I get back, I guess. I've got to watch that. Luckily, I'm the only one that can hear me aside from everybody else.
A few 100,000 people.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Michael,
exactly.
I want to delve into this design process that you guys go to when you design something. Really, it's almost as if starting fresh, but not that way, because you're starting with a platform that's already into production, and now you're turning this into a monster off-road vehicle. How many people is involved in something like that up there at Ram? Once you get the word, hey, we're gonna go for this, then you've got to talk to the suspension guys. You've got to talk to the chassis guys. You got to talk to design, exterior design, and make all of this come together. How does that work?
Yeah, we actually have, a lot of meetings that are, they're set up sometimes they're set up twice a week sometimes, coordination meetings and all of that, where the team is always together. And I, as a design manager, I mean, the way I kind of like to run it is I like to just go, if there's something if I need a question answered or something, I'll just go and ask somebody. I don't even write a lot of emails. You just go right up and keep that tight knit team kind of dynamic going. And so, yeah, working with SRT and Jeff Roselli and Daryl Smith and all of, the guys, the disciplines outside of the design office, and then a ton of the work just inside design office itself is really centers around the clay sculpting aspect and the CDD, which is concept design development. So that's the digital end of the sculpting. So basically what we do is we'll do a clay model, a full-size clay model, or we'll start with a 3/8. We'll go to a full size, and then that gets scanned and goes to our digital group, which, then it's working to bake in feasibility and, if there are panels that need to be stamped or whatever. So there's a lot of people involved, a ton of very talented people, very specialized in their craft. And then, even just within our studio itself, the lead designer, like Dejan Ninov was our lead designer on this truck, just really kind of casting the vision for everybody, with the sketch work. And, I have some of that stuff if you guys would like to see it.
Yes, of course we want to see everything.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I can certainly present it here.
How long did this whole design process take, Michael?
It's probably, depending on whether you count the concept build, you probably are looking at, it was 4 years from the concept, right? So we're 4 years out from the concept, but the concept actually, I guess it's not that much longer because we did it in 77 days. So,
that's pretty quick.
Yeah, real quick.
That means it was in somebody's head already, and all they had to do was give you the okie dokie.
Well, and so that really came from, this was a truck like this has always been in a truck designer's head for a long time, right? You're always just it's always lurking there. I think even you guys will kind of look and see that there's a lot of tie-in to, like when we went to the Rebel Grill in 15 and we introduced the Rebel as a new price class, that even though it was a kind of a mid-cycle enhancement for the outgoing truck, it was sort of a look at things to come, and I'm happy to see that kind of face has now evolved, and this is, the TRX will be kind of the third evolution of that sort of off-road persona for Ram, and really bringing it into its own, as its own brand. We're 10 years on now from splitting from Dodge as a brand, so.
Well,
it was important.
Let me step in here and just make this comment to you. Do you and your team realize that you guys are actually leading the design of the entire industry when it comes to trucks? Do you realize that? Because Ford is chasing you, and clearly Chevrolet and General Motors is trying to keep up. But I'm serious. You guys are so far ahead of everybody else. Do you realize that?
Well, I think, we like to keep our heads down and just do stuff that we're passionate about. So, where we wind up, we certainly like to be in the mix as far as being competitive. But I think one of the unique things about FCA and about Ram Truck specifically is we have a really tight-knit team of people, and I think a lot of their passion really is allowed to make it into the product. So you don't lose a lot of the essence of what the original sketches are trying to capture, as the product goes through development. Things don't get overthought. They don't get, we try not to revisit a lot of decisions that get made. And that's one of the things that helps us kind of be agile and kind of keep that initial spark from the early sketch phase and move it into, something that is a three-dimensional product, and then eventually you're a three-dimensional model, and then eventually a product that you can go purchase. So
and the product that we can go purchase, we can clearly tell that the designers are true car people. You guys really do show in the product you're delivering a passion for the enthusiasts as well, and we appreciate that very much.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, we really love it. I mean, we're we are car folks, and we just like to. I mean, you can see all over Instagram. I mean, there's guys internally that are just posting all kinds of stuff, and people have, they got their own projects going on, and they're talking about, what they're doing, and it's a true car culture within the FCA design.
Well, I also have to just kind of throw in there the fact that we, Mike Mars and I, Konrad kind of, but we on this show that Mike and I have had the pleasure of meeting and talking to Mike Manley, and when he was at Auburn Hills and head of really the facility there. He kind of brought that whole culture, if you will, to you guys and kept it going. I mean, there's a certain element there that I don't know whether it's age-related, experience-related, or maybe a combination of both and many more things, clearly. But there is a team there in Auburn Hills that is unlike any of the other manufacturers because we've been to the other manufacturers, and you can feel it when you walk in the door.
Yeah, I think that just lends to the, it's a different feeling. It's a flatter organization, I think, where there is more interface all the way through the chain of command, and people, up and down know what's going on, and they, there's usually a product that everybody can coalesce around and understand and get that vision. And oftentimes, more often than not, PDO would like to be the design office, as we call it, product design office, would like to be the we like to kind of try and lead that effort and create those sort of stakes in the ground for everybody to gather around and have an agreement and then go out and do it, and execute. And I think that's a very special thing at FCA.
Well, Michael, it's great to talk to you. We surely appreciate so much you sharing the new Ram TRX with us, and it's great to have you on the show. And we hope that you'll stay in touch with us because we're going to keep knocking on your door and bothering you whenever you come up with anything.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got all kinds of fun details and things to talk about. So I'm super excited about the truck, and thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you. We'll
Appreciate
talk to you
your time.
soon. We really appreciate it. All right, that's Michael Gillam with Ram Trucks and the TRX. Coming up, we got another Jeep Gladiator, and this one is the top of the line Mojave. I'll tell you about it and my experience with it after a quick stop here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. I hope that I can press the right buttons and make all of this stuff.
Who's got the button?
I know, it's just a problem.
911, what's your emergency?
God, there's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would he do that? The train still hasn't stopped. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Advance Auto Parts and CarQuest present the inaugural Texas Truck Challenge with $10,000 to the winner this Saturday night at Houston Motorsports Park. Gates open at 5 and the first 300 fans get a free souvenir cap. The commemorative Air Force flyover and racing go at 6. Wear your mask. We've got social distancing and sanitizer. Enjoy dollar hot dogs and dollar beer. Advance tickets online at NASCARHouston.com. This Saturday night, gates at 5, racing at 6, Houston Motorsports Park for the inaugural $10,000 Texas Truck Challenge.
Hey, thanks for joining us on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Yeah, that's that mid-size pickup truck that Jeep has come out with. It's selling like hotcakes, and there's a reason for it, because it'll go anywhere and do anything. Available trim levels: the Sport S, the Overland, the Rubicon, and the Mojave. And I had the Mojave 4x4. It's considered by your United States government as a standard pickup truck. We like to call it the midsize. Seats up to 5 passengers. Exterior changes. Well, it was all new for 2019. It looks like, kind of, the 4-door Wrangler with a pickup truck bed, but it is not. It is not. So let's just leave it at that. More details later. It's a serious off-road look. Skid plates up front, short overhangs front and rear. The Mojave has 33-inch mud terrain tires, or what I like to refer to as knobbies. Remember knobbies back in the day?
Yeah.
Hey, your Schwinn Stingray had a knobby on it, man. You could go anywhere.
Yeah, but they weren't this big.
No, they certainly were not. And this particular one had a fold-up tonneau cover on it. It also has available a convertible or a hard top as far as the cab is concerned. What I liked about it, well, let's go rock climbing now. If we had some rocks around here, that's what I would want to take. Exterior customization features, another option that I really did like as well. What could use improvement? How about that 707 horsepower Hellcat motor?
Well, maybe that's what he went to Chicago to pick up.
He was looking for parts.
His Jeep project.
Yeah, with his bulletproof vest. Anyway, interior highlights, all-weather surfaces, comfortable seating, weatherproof dash design, color options are really killer on this vehicle. Flexibility of the design elements, love that. Cargo trunk room, well, it's got a 5-foot bed on it, so you fold down the tailgate, and now you can put that 4x8 sheet of plywood or whatever it is. How big is the sheet of plywood?
4x8.
Yeah, so you can put the plywood back there. What I liked about it, the under-seat storage locker in the back. Sounds silly, but it really is
Isn't
cool.
that creative,
As a matter of fact, I saw an ad the other day that now WeatherTech is making storage lockers for under seats like Ford F-150s. Did I say that? I'm sorry. What could use improvement? You tell me. Drivetrain, 3.6-liter V6, 285 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, this thing will tow up to 7,650 pounds.
That's pretty good.
Haul rating is up to 1,600 pounds, so it is a serious truck. Miles per gallon for the city, 17. Highway is rated at 22 for a combined of 19. I got 18 over 337.4 miles. What I like, the nice matchup with the V6 power and torque to the transmission. What could use improvement? Everybody wants better gas mileage. Maybe they're working on that. Ride and handling, it's got go-anywhere confidence, and it's ride and handling. I can tell you. You get in this thing, it's like no other. You know that this thing can go pretty much anywhere. You want to drive it up the wall? It'll probably do that. What could use improvement? Steering can feel funny at first, but this is a vehicle like the Wrangler that goes anywhere. Well, where do you make the compromises?
Right.
You know, in the design. And you have to make the compromises.
Well, it's looking at what the intent of the vehicle is for first.
Exactly.
And then you compromise to fill
Does
that
a Chevy
intent.
Impala drive like a Corvette? No.
Or does it drive like a Jeep Gladiator? No.
No.
You're not going to do the same thing in it, and you can't.
That's what I made a point of here.
No. Well, I'm glad I could read ahead for you.
Thank you. Base trim price, $43,875. Mine, loaded to the hilt, was $58,860. This one was serious, man. Base model price, $33,545. Now, competitors, well, there really aren't any. The Chevy Colorado, well, we're talking about pickup trucks here, mid-sized pickup trucks.
So a ZR2 Colorado.
None of these can compete with its off-roadedness.
Right. Roadedness.
Is that a word?
Off-roadability.
Okay, whatever.
It's trail rated.
You get the point. The Colorado starts at $21,130. The Tacoma, $26,050, and the Ranger, $24,410. But you can't do off-road with that. I mean, this is not. That's the only thing I could compare it to because there isn't anything to compare it to, really. Anyway, that's the review of the 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Okay, time now for the national race calendar before we run out of room. And I didn't mean to spring that on you, but that's what I've got written
Well, I think
down.
we already did that.
Well, let's do it again.
Okay, well, we talked about Formula 1.
That was in a different show.
Formula 1 is going to be in Italy this weekend, and it's already started. They qualified this morning.
All right.
Talladega is going to be October 2nd for NASCAR. The 24 Hours of Le Mans is next weekend for the prototypes and the GT cars. Le Mans. Okay. Lemons. No, they do that down at MSR. On the 9th of October is going to be Charlotte, and the IMSA guys are going to be doing the road track down there at Charlotte.
Charlotte's got a road track?
Yeah. Interior road track, kind of like Daytona does. Actually, Dallas does as well. All those big ovals have an inside road track.
Indy's got one now, too.
Well, that's in the Indy cars are going to be there as well on the 2nd of October.
On the road course?
On the road course.
Oh,
This is the second time this year they're going to be there. And their support race is going to be the International GT Challenge. So all the Ferraris, Audis, McLarens and stuff are going to be there with them.
All right, thank you, sir. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcasts, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this.